Good morning, students. Today we will start with some points on case taking, some important points which we follow while taking the case. This topic we discussed yesterday. In short, we will revise this topic. Ask questions in opposite direction. Don't ask directly the question about the state of his related to his mental state. Don't ask directly the questions. Ask in opposite direction so that the patient open up or we get the proper symptoms. Always confirm the symptom from his friends, relatives. Do not totally rely on patient or history which is expressed by the patient. Then while taking the case, observation of the physician is very much important. Observation of patient as well as observation of his expressions while taking the case or while giving the history. This is also very much important while taking the case. Then never accept the patient says at face value. Symptoms provided by the patient should be accepted with interest but without judgment. We cannot judge how the patient is, how his sufferings, how was the depth of his illness. Only by observing expressions of the patient, we never judge the patient. Then look at the hidden expression behind the symptoms. The symptoms, many times the person he does not express his inner feeling, emotional from inner side. At his mental level he get very much disturbed, but he never express it externally. He express as he is very happy, but there is something in his mind. So always look at the hidden expressions behind the symptoms. The symptoms expressed with spontaneity, clarity, intensity is of highest value, which is expressed spontaneously by the patient. The symptoms which are very clearly expressed or given by the patient with high intensity, then it is valuable symptom. Try to confirm the essential parameter of the patient in diverse situation of his life. Then to find out the characteristic symptoms of the patient, we should ask his reaction during stressful condition, how he behave, how he handle the stressful situation, then how his symptoms are before the illness appear, or how he was before starting the medication. And from those, after taking the history in such way, we get the characteristic symptoms, any one or two characteristic symptom of the patient. And if we cannot get the characteristic symptoms from these things, then ask the history since his childhood so that we can get the characteristic symptom. Then which important points we should remember while taking the case? many patients bring out the best symptom if you give a pause after the answer. So that Dr. Hahnemann, he advised the physician never interrupt the patient while he was narrating his symptoms. If you interrupt the patient, then the way of thinking or the way of expressions, the how he want to narrate the history, the tempo get disturbed, and so we may miss any important or characteristic symptoms of the patient. So many times while taking the case, after finishing his one symptom, if immediately we cannot go towards the next symptom, or if we cannot disturb the patient, then if we give a pause after the answer of the first question, then many patients, they give or they bring out symptoms. The expression of characteristics can often be provoked. Many times we get the expressions of the characteristic symptoms by making the patient wait beyond his time of appointment, that is impatient, mild, or rigid. How the patient was, what is the nature of the patient, that we get if from the expressions of the patient, from the behavior of the patient. If the patient is impatient for waiting, as the patient is mild or rigid in reaction, so that we can able to understand the nature of the patient while taking the history by our proper observation. The patient should feel that the doctor is someone who cares, where he can trust, and to him he can reveal anything. So we should make or we should maintain such a relation with the patient that he should trust on the physician. And when there is trust on physician, then he can express all his inner feelings, and he think that the doctor is one who cares, who take care of me. So we should maintain such trust in mind of the patient about the physician. If you come to a dead end in case taking and just don't know how to make the patient talk, just ask him to describe one typical day, his routine from morning to night. Many times while taking the case, there is a dead end. We cannot get the proper symptoms from the patient, and we don't understand, we don't know how we should make the patient talk, because some patients, they are less talkative, they may be introvert, or many times we cannot find out the questions which we should ask while taking the case, and at in such point or at that moment we should ask the patient to describe the one typical day or his daily routine from morning to night. When he get up, how his day starts, which things he can do every day, at what time, so that we can able to make questions from his daily routine, or we can able to find out some symptoms related to patient from his daily routine. The patient should be encouraged to tell his story freely to relieve his mind. Ask the patient to tell or to give in detail all the expressions, all the feelings, all the details about his particular symptoms, so that we can able to collect the proper case history, as well as when the patient narrate or when the patient share his inner feelings, then he get relieved by his mind very much. So he feel free, he feel comfortable, he feel relaxed after sharing his inner feelings. While writing the symptoms, as Dr. Hahnemann, he advised the physician always leave space between two symptoms, because when the patient was narrating his history, we never disturb the patient, and if the symptom is incomplete, leave that symptom as it is when the patient was giving his history, so that to complete that symptom we should leave some space after that symptom. So leave space between the symptoms. Questions are then put in a manner as to complete each symptoms as location, sensation, modality and concomitant. So you should leave the space between two symptoms so that you can able to complete each symptom as location, sensation, modality and concomitant after taking the history or after the patient completed his history. Prejudice and doubt may be overcome by reflection, study, self-discipline and auto-suggestion, by cultivating the scientific spirit. So, the physician should never be prejudiced. The physician should be always unprejudiced. So, to overcome this prejudiced nature of the patient, it will be overcome by reflection, study, self-discipline, and auto-suggestion by cultivating the scientific spirit. The examiner should be constantly on the alert and observing while making an oral examination. So, as we are taking history, as the patient is narrating his history, the examiner, the physician, he should be alert and his observation are very proper, as during oral examinations the examiner observed the student how he was expressing his knowledge, how much knowledge he have by observation, by answers. We can able to know how much study the student have done. In the same way, the physician can get the proper idea about the patient, how the patient may be, by careful observation and by his alertness while taking the case. Look for peculiar, uncommon characteristics, individual peculiarities from casual expression of the patient, attitude or gait. So, while observing the patient, we should find out which are the peculiar, uncommon and characteristic features in the individual, and this we should find out by the expression of the patient as well as from his attitude or gait. If the patient is confined to bed, observe the positions in bed, how the patient is lying, manner of moving, his mental state, turning, then skin, color, odor, appearance of excretions, temperature, sensorium, covering, ventilation, etc. So, if the patient is bedridden, we should observe carefully the patient in all these, covering all these things, that how the patient was lying, how his position in the bed, how he moves, then what about his mental state? Is he irritable? Is he calm? Is he cooperative? How he turns? What is how the color of the skin is? How the skin is? Is it dry, oily, or there are any rashes, bed sores? Then odor if present, what kind of odor is, appearance of excretions, then temperature if there, all his, we should know or we should study about all his special senses. Is he or she required covering or not? and ventilation is proper or not. Is there any distress to the patient? Is the patient is comfortable? His respiration is comfortable, his movement, his mental state, all is well, or there are any altered state at mental or physical level in the patient. So these things are very much important to see, to observe, to note down when the patient is bedridden. Then the physical examination will be made thoroughly and systematically, and the findings added to the record. We should do the thoroughly and systematically all the physical examination, the proper physical examination, and we should add the findings whatever we get after the physical examination. We should note it down. Note the patient's name, age, sex, vocation, the record of the family, that is age of parents, general health, cause of death, etc. We often get a good picture of the hereditary tendencies in this way. So, while taking the case, as we start with the preliminary data, so these things we always observe, we always note down about the name of the patient, his age, sex, vocation, the record of the family, that is what is the age of his parents, what is the his and his family members' general health. If there is any death in his family, then what is the cause behind that death? We often get a good picture of the hereditary tendencies in this way. So, by taking in detail such history about the patient, about his family, then we can get, is there any hereditary tendencies in his family. If you are dealing with an acute condition, limit yourself to dealing with the acute state alone, and do not at the same time attempt to deep into what has been a chronic state. In an acute explosion, the chronic picture will retreat completely. So, as this point we already discussed many times in chronic case taking, difficulties in chronic case taking, that while dealing with the acute condition, if the acute state is there behind the chronic disease, in such cases we should consider only the acute state, and we should never go towards the symptoms of the chronic state. And when we are treating the acute condition, acute suffering of the patient, the chronic picture will retreat completely. After treating the acute state of the patient, Then afterwards we again retake the history of the patient and we can remove the remaining symptoms of the patient. Then which are the other hints while taking the case or some important points? That before leaving the case, go over again the family history, the personal history, the mental and physical symptoms, temperament, personality. Verify if you have skipped anything. So, before leaving the case, before we complete the case, once we go through the whole case again, we go through the family history, the personal history of the patient, his mental general symptoms, his physical general symptoms, as well as his particular symptoms, temperament, and constitutional symptoms. And if we go through all these things again, then if we miss anything while taking the case, we can able to complete it. So to complete the case, to complete each and every point of the case, we should once revise the case before leaving that case. Remember that the nature and sensation of symptoms, the time of day, the position of circumstances under which the symptoms appear, etc., are the most important modifiers of any given case. So, the sensation by which things the condition get worse, by which things the condition get ameliorated or the patient feel better, according to the time, according to the position, and according to the circumstances. We should note down each and every symptom. We should note down each and every modality, aggravations and ameliorations related to time, related to position, circumstances, because these things are very much important, because they guide us properly about the case. So, in this way, these are some important points while taking, we should remember while taking the case. So, in case taking, we discussed that why the case taking is important, which are the steps of case taking, how should we proceed for the case taking, what is case, which are the objectives of the case taking, Then which things the physician should know, or the which knowledges the physician should have before taking the case, which is given in aphorism number 3, aphorism number 4. In aphorism number 3, there is knowledge of disease, about the choice of remedy, then proper dose. Then in aphorism number 4 also Dr. Hahnemann discussed about which knowledge the physician should have. The physician should have knowledge about the cause of disease. Then in aphorism number 5, Dr. Hahnemann discussed that the physician should be unprejudiced observer, and then only he can able to perceive the portrait of disease. He can able to find out the proper image of the disease. In aphorism number 5 especially, he has given what is the exciting cause, fundamental cause of the disease, and the physician should also know about the exciting or fundamental cause of the disease, so that his observation, his case taking should be proper. Then in aphorism number 6, he discussed about the unprejudiced nature of the physician, that the physician should be unprejudiced observer. Then from aphorism number 83, then in some early aphorisms he also discussed about the knowledge of disease. Then in aphorism number 83, which prerequisites, which or extra qualifications the physician should require while taking the case or before taking the case, that was given in aphorism number 83. Then in aphorism number 84, 85, 86, 88, 89 and 90, Dr. Hahnemann very well explained about the do's of case taking. And in between these aphorisms, in aphorism number 87, Dr. Hahnemann explained about the don'ts of case taking. So which things the physician should do, which things the physician should not do, that was given in do's and don'ts of case taking. So the do's of case taking, it is explained from aphorism number 84 to 86 and 88 to 90. And in aphorism number 87, there is given about the don'ts of case taking. Then in aphorism number 91, 92 and 93, Dr. Hahnemann given the special guidelines to the physician about the patient who is taking medicine from the another physician for a long time. So what the are in such patients, what is the role of the physician, what the physician should do, those special guidelines, it was given from aphorism number 91 up to aphorism number 93. Then from aphorism number 94 up to aphorism number 98, chronic case taking, it was given in aphorism number 94, the maintaining cause or the what is the exciting cause, how the removal of this maintaining or exciting cause will help in treating while treating the patient. Then in aphorism number 95, 96 and 97, difficulties in chronic case taking, it was given from aphorism number 95 to 97. Then in aphorism number 98, special guidelines and prerequisites of chronic case taking, it was given. In aphorism number 99 to aphorism number 102, all about the acute case taking, it is given in these aphorisms. That is, chronic case taking, it is given from aphorism number 94 to aphorism number 98, and acute case taking, it was given from aphorism number 99 to aphorism number 102. Then in aphorism number 103 and 104, appraising the case taken, how we should take the case. In this way, the case taking, the whole case taking was explained by Dr. Hahnemann from aphorism number 83 up to aphorism number 104. So, which things or which prerequisites the physician should have, which knowledge the physician should have before taking the case, then which are do's of the case taking, which are don'ts of the case taking, which are special guidelines, how we should take the chronic case, which difficulties we may face while taking the chronic case, how we take the acute case, which important things to remember while taking the acute case. This all is given from aphorism number 83 up to aphorism number 104. Then in these also we discussed about the different type of cases, what we should do in epidemic condition, then what we should do if the patient is stoic, means these patients or these individuals, they do not take much interest in describing their elements. What we should do in hypersensitive patients, in hypochondriac patients, how we should take the case in such patients. So this is all about the case taking in different type of cases. Now we see about the case taking in mental diseases. So this is all about the hints or some guidelines about the case taking. Now our next topic is case taking in mental diseases. So in the next lecture we will start with case taking in mental diseases. Thank you.